What do you think this will pull? Double action, Smith & Wesson TRR8. I don't think I did this on a tabletop review years ago.
My money's on 12.
I would think that's a pretty good guess. 11.7.5. We'll call it 11.8. How about single action? Give it a shot. What do you think?
Let's say 5.
Ooh, dude!
What?
How did you... Man, that bodes well for this revolver porn video here in TMP. Let's try it again. That's pretty excellent. You nailed that. You said 5 and I pulled 5. And on that one, 4 pounds, 9 ounces. And this, by the way, is one of TacticalDoodle's all-time favorite revolvers. True or false?
Oh, completely.
Why?
It doesn't get any better. People have been making revolvers for, what, 100 and some odd years now, and this is as good as it's ever gotten. You have a titanium cylinder, scandium frame, 8 rounds of 357. 8 rounds. 8!
I hear you, son.
357. It's
I hear
awesome.
you.
It's awesome. It's performance center tuned, so the trigger's pretty good on it. It's got a great sighting system, and it's a round frame, which means you can throw tiny grips like these compacts on there and kind of pretend you're carrying it pretty concealed, but it could be a little bit better. But 8 rounds.
I'm on board with that, bro. Seriously. In my tabletop review, what did I call this gun?
That's your breacher.
That's correct. For like a SWAT team, for the lead officer carrying an armored shield, he can shoot around it, next to it without any jam-ups. 357 authority, the TRR8. Now it's what, the R8?
The R8. Yeah, they've knocked it from the Performance Center lineup, and you can usually tell if you flip it around. They no longer do this little cutout here, and now that just says R8 emblazoned on there. I think it's essentially the same gun.
Yeah,
it's just a little bit cheaper. I think they just don't do as much trigger tuning on it, which I think it could be better. I don't think the trigger on it's really befitting something that expensive when it's, you know, 1,000 plus.
This is one of those revolvers, when I shoot it, I have to kind of concentrate to hit with it. It just does not come automatically to me. I think I said that in the review. And by the way, we're going to talk about the revolvers, but we're also talking about TacticalDoodle's crazy revolver modifications he's been doing lately. Not for the project. I decided to make a video and show you guys what he's been up to. He's just been doing them. I mean, I go over and look at what he's doing. I was like, dude, that's new. He's like, yeah, I'm just, doing this. For instance, the grips. Talk about these grips and why you got them.
Well, yeah, they're not that crazy yet. I mean, I've done a couple things. But this one, I wanted to be able to carry this around. So this is, it's not a tiny revolver, but I have a system at this point where I can kind of carry it and noodle around with the TRR8. It's as cool as it gets for a carry gun. If you've seen any of my stuff, I'm not going out to have a gunfight all the time. It's more for just carrying to carry and carrying what I enjoy. That's part of the reason I do it.
And he does carry this.
Oh,
that's the thing. He concealed carries the TRR8. I've seen him do it multiple times. How are you doing that? Inside the waistband?
Yeah. So I have a holster setup that accepts most of these revolvers, which is pretty cool. And if you go back to my other video when I talked about the 511 Rush Messenger bag, I carried it back then too.
Yeah, you did.
So it's got a couple years of carry, still really not the worst for wear. So
talk to the original grips and what these Packmeyers offer over the original grips, which we don't have, do we?
We have them on another gun. You'll see in a sec.
Okay.
So almost everything these days comes with the same old Hogue monogrip. I think it's a great grip, especially for $17. It's awesome.
Whoops.
But it is
kind of like this right here.
Yeah.
Boop.
Right there on a
686p. That's a good grip. I really like it.
I love it.
It's a great range grip.
You just cannot carry it. It's rubber all the way around and adds a little bit of length to that grip frame on there. So these are Packmeyer compacts. You can get them for like $25. They're not the best as far as kind of carry things go. I do like the rubber, especially when you're shooting. I just don't like how it catches on clothing. But for me, the biggest part to conceal with these is once you have this barrel all the way down your pants, you have to watch out for how much the grip sticks out past the frame itself. Because that's where a lot of these do it.
Are you talking this dimension right here?
Yeah. So
you shorten this. Shorten it from here to here by putting on the Packmeyers.
Yeah. If you
although you now have an exposed heel strap as well.
Yeah.
Which shooting a TRR8, it could be an issue.
Pretty much all of them have it though. Everyone likes having an exposed back strap on there. If you look, these are another Performance Center grips. These come off a Model.
Dude,
60.
I bought these, didn't I?
I thought they came stock.
Oh, that's right. They came with the Model
Something like
60.
that.
These
can
are great grips. We'll
Look at
show
how
you
much
a Model
they stick
60,
out,
by the
though.
way.
If you were to put it in
Yeah.
about the same place, you're going to get that little extra bit. That's stuff that tents on your clothing, and it just sticks out a little too much. So I don't mind the compacts for shooting, but I love them for carry. They're pretty good, and they're like 25 bucks.
By the way, the links are in the bottom for these guns. Put it right about there so they can see it there. The links are in the bottom. So if you want to order these things, we'll find it as cheap as we can. Just click on the link and you'll find it there. A lot of it is going to come from Amazon, which I actually love ordering from because they're so fast and they take returns without any problems or hassles.
Oh, totally. And it's
So
all
if
automated.
you try it and you go, hey, I don't like it, send it back.
But they aren't like sponsoring us or anything. But
They
we
totally are
generally-
not.
Yeah, totally. One thing I don't like is the moon clip system on a
Here, I'll hold
TR8.
this.
I mean, moon clips are awesome if you're going for speed, but when you're carrying this day in, day out, these are kind of a liability. You have to make sure they're sitting pretty and they're not getting bent. You can't just throw them in a pocket and go, compared to something like a speed loader. These are Safari Lands.
Put it right
These
up
are
to the camera, yo.
HKS. You carry one of these, and you really don't have to worry about much. You can throw that in there. If you're a lady, you can throw it in a purse, not worry.
Hey,
With
what's
these,
up with your load, by the way? I see some Nyclad in there. What are these, FTXs in there as well?
I'm not going to use them. I just use whatever's sitting in my little
But do you
drawer.
just mix it up to
Yeah.
be different?
Oh, yeah. I had 2 boxes.
That is totally tactical
Yeah.
doodle. He is so like that. He's like, yeah, whatever,
Oh, well,
whatever's
this
handy.
one, if you look for
These
the
are gold
SP101,
sabers right here.
Yeah, 3
Those are
golden
plus
sabers
Ps.
with a couple normals. That's for the SP101 if I'm carrying it.
Yeah, 357 plus P.
Yeah, I don't want to sling
Yeah,
357
those are
the whole way through.
357s.
But these are really temperamental. If you're carrying
Yeah.
them wrong, you can get them rotated, you can get them kind of bent up, and then it won't feed as well.
Right.
I like it at the range, not so much when I'm carrying.
Yep.
But the TR8 is about as good as a revolver's ever gotten.
See, dude, you were saying you want this video to be short. There's so much to talk
It's not gonna
about.
be short.
Dude, it's going to be feature length.
I originally
Revolver porn.
If
The
we're just talking about grips,
TRR8
what's the
entry
point?
gun. What?
If we're just talking about the grips, what's the point? You're so.
Well, it's hard not to talk about the
I
guns.
know, because
It's almost
the philosophy of
impossible.
how you carry it.
Thank you.
All right.
And how they're used. So that's a great. I never said that was a carry gun. Here, my own son is using it as a carry gun. Does that have authority though when it comes out, or what?
Never had to pull it out.
But what would you like to be looking down the barrel of this?
When you see the little
Imagine
rounds
there's rounds
sticking
in
out
there.
packs there.
Dude, we haven't had any problems with the shroud loosening on the TMP TRR8. What a great gun. I don't see us ever selling that gun, do you?
Never.
He would not let me.
No.
How about are you going to fight it with your brother for hand-me-down purposes?
There's no fight. I already won it. So one thing to watch out for, and I haven't been able to confirm it, but I think the newer one actually has a molded-in rail. If that's true, then
Yeah.
the TR is a lot better to carry. You got the 686.
Coming at you.
Sweet.
Reviewed, highly recommended. This is a 7-shot 357, the Smith & Wesson. Pretty much a standard of measure in the industry. 686. P version, this one. Go.
If you can't lay out for an R8 or anything with that 8-round capacity, this is so close to doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. The one thing I don't like is the weight. You have that full underlug on there.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, it's a great little revolver. 7 rounds.
A TMPer just asked me, and I answered in comment on one of the videos. He's like, hey, this, and I'm trying to remember which gun it was. It might have been a Ruger. He says they have it with a partial lug versus full lug. What would you recommend? I actually answered probably a full lug for the way I use the guns. I'm not carrying these for GTW purposes or even concealed carry. It's going to be range use, recreation, target shooting, maybe hunting, in which case that extra weight, in some cases I like.
Yeah.
It stabilizes a gun. Look at what the competitors are using. They generally will like it.
Yeah, and as a bedside gun too. I
Absolutely.
think it's a good idea. For people that aren't total gun people, what should I get? Get a revolver, and it doesn't matter if it's heavy,
Absolutely.
it helps them at least stay more on target.
You can put a light on the TRR8 for home defense, and that is a big plus. There's ways to do it on this gun as well, but they're kind of hokey, I think. You'd have to have a separate flashlight, but what a great gun.
Yeah, love it. Love it in stainless. We were talking about
I
the
think I'm going to
grips.
sell this, by the way.
Nah,
What?
no, we'll find it somewhere else in
sell
the
it,
budget.
dude.
So you're going to find mono grips pretty much across the board now.
So these are the Hogue mono grips.
In about
Great
08,
grips.
07, I want to say Smith started issuing them with pretty much everything. And I think it's a little bit of performance and a little bit of cost cutting compared to having some American guy turn this out on a lathe and do
Laminated wood with
pieces.
checkering.
That's pretty time intensive. But the monogrips are awesome. You know, they add a little bit more. This is actually a round frame K. So that one can take a lot of different grips. It's pretty good as far as a carry one. You can
Super easy to install too. Single
yeah.
screw. How nice is that?
You slip it on and off. It takes you
all these are pretty
minute.
easy to install.
And so it's actually got this same grip profile. So if you wanted to carry a 686, you could do it. You get something like this. And these aren't the only grips. These are just the ones I'm kind of trying out and liking on some of these.
We're learning as we go, man.
There are so many options. It's not like there's only one.
Okay, so between these two grips, you're running the trench warfare drill against steel. Which grip would you prefer? Yeah, me
totally
too.
Mono.
Totally. A lot bigger, more control, good speed loader cutout, which we're going to show you some. Do we have that one that I milled out? No. There's some I've milled out with a Dremel so we could speed load them. But I don't think there's an interference here with either HKS or maybe Safari Lamb's speed loaders.
The Hogues are really good about that. It's very rare you're going to get some interference, most of the time because they come with a gun.
How about the Packmeyer? Have you tried that interference-wise?
Nothing on this one. This is great. It's got a really shallow area.
Yeah, it does.
Plus
see how
with
shallow that is? Yeah. Packmeyers have been around forever.
Oh, yeah, since like 1927. And ostensibly, they're still making them in SoCal, which is pretty cool.
Cool. So you're saying this is like maybe a more affordable version of that?
Oh, yeah.
Although it's going to be much heavier.
Yeah.
Well, not much. A little bit heavier.
That's a pretty good amount heavier, at least from the
Those are the stock grips on that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then that brings us to the Model 60. Wait till you see some of the finishes Doodle's put on these guns. And I haven't officially tabletopped this gun yet, but it's coming. Smith & Wesson 357 stainless steel framed Model 60. Performance Center. I think it's Performance Center.
Yeah, it is.
And the sights are ultra cool. I did paint this. It has a tritium vial in the front sight, fully adjustable in the rear. What? Philosophy of use on this gun really is a J-frame trainer. Because, I don't know, we're going to show you a 638, this gun right here in a second. That's not a gun we want to go out and maybe put thousands of rounds through. It is an aluminum framed revolver. This, like the 638 and the bodyguards, is 5-shot. To me, it's a trainer. So you want to go train with your J-frame, run your Model 60. Has the same rounds count, a lot of the same ergonomics. What a great gun. And I actually like that barrel. The extra length on the barrel is just so freaking cool.
I love it. And this size of 357, if you are shooting it that way, an inch or two goes a long way.
That's what
it applies.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, and everything. An inch is really important. I mean, if you look at the ballistics from like 2 inches to 3 inches, it does a lot for you. So every little bit you can get out of this is pretty awesome. As far as carrying goes, this sight will pretty much dig into you no matter what, but it's so easy to shoot, it's almost worth it.
And it's such a, I mean, look at my palm and look at how small this gun is. You'll see when we throw another 357 pocket pistol up that it's about the same size, but it can shoot it and not fall apart. And 357 is high pressure. It's a lot of wear and tear on the frame. This is a gun, in our experience, that can withstand that. I really like the slab-sided barrel on the Model 60. On this version, it's really cool. Counterboard. Those aren't the grips that came with it, though.
No.
I ordered these grips off Brownells. Here's the stock grips on the Model 60, and I actually love them.
They're great for range grips. They're really low, and they give you a lot of space to really shoot, and you don't have to choke up.
They look like the Miculate grips to me. Very similar. So he makes grips very similar to that. Show them the package. So these are Brownells. These are pretty affordable. If we can find them in a cheaper, we'll put the link there.
Yeah.
That's the same one, right? Smith &
It's
Wesson.
a slightly different version.
Hideout, revolver, grip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nylon, about $20. It feels like G10, though.
It does. This is
awesome.
actually almost the perfect grip material for a lot of guns. We should see it more, really, for semi-autos as well, because it is obviously contourable, like that. They can mill it, and like Doodle's saying, it doesn't grab. Yeah. If I'm going and running a drill, I'll take these ones, but for concealed carry, all day long.
Totally.
You've carried this concealed, haven't you?
Oh, yeah. Pretty much
It's
all
kind of
these
heavy
I have.
for that, though, isn't it?
Yeah, not really.
Yeah.
Well, compared when that and that are my baseline.
That's a heavy gun. But you don't care about weight. You're so funny. So here I come to the table and I talk about SAWC, and you pretty much just pack whatever.
Yeah, it depends on what I'm doing.
And your mood.
Yeah, and like errands and stuff. I don't know.
Okay, now check this out. That is a wonderful gun. I hope to tabletop it. Maybe I'll just call it good. They won't like that. They won't like it. They're like, no, dude, you gotta go through the whole gamut. Here, you intro this one because you did the work on it. Wow, this is cool looking. Okay, before we throw this one on the table, this revolver, this has a Terry Gardner call sign Yoda trigger job on it, and it is phenomenal. But now look at it. The last time you saw it was probably 2009. What?
You can actually see the video where he's working on it, and you see him do all the trigger work on it. Great little gun. It's a Ruger GP100.
Oh, that's a good gun.
Thing.
Okay, so that has an amazing presentation to it. This is all Doodle doing this. He didn't even ask me. He says he did, but I don't remember it.
No, I said, hey, I'm going to work on those Rugers, and you were like, what?
You didn't say you're coating them.
I mean...
You did not say you're coating them.
You should have inferred it from there. It's pretty...
So he goes and Cerakotes it, and that is a burnt bronze orange. Look at how cool that is. I got to hand it to you. That is a really nice color.
Turned out pretty cool.
Really nice color, and I'll give it to you, man. It's so much better than the silver finish.
It is.
Did you sand it first or what? So you just hand sanded it. You didn't bead blast it, and then took all the parts off. Of course, the grips weren't on it, and then you did the bake Cerakote, correct?
Yeah. So I did bake on Cerakote. We don't have a sandblaster, so I did have to individually sand everything. What else? Oh yeah, I got rid of the instruction manual that Ruger engraves on there. On that lug, normally you have a bunch of text on both sides.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work if you want to get rid of that.
So what did you do? Just sand it?
Yeah.
Dude, there's like an indentation in the barrel.
I know.
What'd you use, a power sander?
Mm-mm. Huh. I did. I just kept polishing away.
That's what you should have done, dude, is filled it with JB Weld and then sanded that closed. Why didn't you ask me?
Because they raised it.
It was raised? It wasn't.
No, the way they stamp it, the letters poked out of it. So you had it because of that.
Yeah, I can see just a little indentation.
It's that one piece, and I didn't want to keep going and dick it up more. So
whatever. It still looks pretty awesome
for a Ruger.
It's a beater gun, really.
Yeah.
This is a standard 6-shot capacity. The Ruger GP100 with this trigger, and let's test the trigger. By the way, what do you think? It pulls double action, yo.
Oof. I almost want to say like 9.
I'll go with that. I like 9. 9's good. It's pretty light. Yoda did such a great job on this trigger. 7.7?
That's awesome.
That is awesome. Wow. Okay, single action. I know it's super light. 310. Oh, Yoda strikes again. Contact information for Yoda, by the way, is in the bottom if you want him to do a trigger job for you on your Ruger. He's also done a trigger job on the Model 60. Excellent. That's a Performance Center trigger job, so is that, so we didn't mess with it. Grips. Now, what came on this gun? Do you have them?
No, not with it. It's the same as the 686. You get some Hogue mono grips. These are actually Hogue, same brand, and these are the, I think, exotic checkered wood.
Is it? It's not Cocobolo, is it?
No, it's Goncalo.
Goncalo, yeah. And I ordered these because he was looking for some grips. I was like, I think Amazon has some grips that are really cool, and that's where I got these. And man, they were a lot better than we thought they were going to be. Look at how pretty they are. It's cut checkering, combat, competition style grip, and against that burnt bronze. Wow, that's a very cool presentation, don't you think?
Love it.
Would you rather shoot with these grips in the Eat Lead drill or trench warfare versus rubber? Yeah. I would too.
I like them.
I'd run it. So for the money, the GP100 it's really a workhorse 357. It just lasts and lasts, and it shoots so easily. Man, I can hit, let me see, my favorite guns to hit with so far that's on the table, these two. I'm almost magical in my shooting capabilities with these two guns. I have to concentrate on that a lot more, especially the single action trigger on that 60 is really light, maybe a little bit too light. And I can hit with the TRR8, but I gotta slow it down sometime. Okay, so classic Smith & Wesson coming to the table. I reviewed the Model 15, I think, Combat Masterpiece, but not this one. And this, honestly, guys, you may be blown away, but this is our favorite revolver.
Oh, yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Oh, totally.
Of all of the guns on and we love them all, but there is just something we love about our Smith & Wesson Model 10s. Man. Tell them about the year. Did you ever research that, or are you still waiting to hear back?
I'm still waiting on the factory letter.
Okay, so you paid the money, and Smith & Wesson's researching this gun or the other one?
Other one. So this one I think was made in the 70s. The other one, from when I dated it from the book, is around 1907 to 1909. But then I heard of another guy with a similar number getting around the 30s, so who knows. We'll get back on that later, and we've had a pretty good debate over it. ever since we had it. But it's essentially the same gun. They don't change too much in the Model 10. You still get the fixed sights. You still have 6 rounds, 38 special. It's a classic.
Beautiful, beautiful gun. This is also magical, and I'm not just talking like in my shooting, but anybody that I've given this gun to, including your mom, Mrs. Nutnfancy, can hit with this gun easily. In 38 special, it recoils very mildly. I love the sights, even though they're fixed in this version, but they're regulated quite well. I got the Testers fluorescent orange paint mod on there, and what are these grips?
Factory, right? Factory service grips. Grips, I would say don't refinish them if you have an old one until you find out exactly what they are and what year. I think a lot of them are matched to the gun, which can really add value, or even just selling them separate to swap. They are not the best for shooting. You really kind of choke up on it, and your hand is not in that standard 1911 grip angle. But they're fun, they look excellent, and they're good if you like spinning them around with some snap caps at home.
That can pretty much be said, what he was saying about refinishing for most of your collectible pieces. Don't mess with them. If you're trying to maintain the collectability value on them, find someone who knows what they're talking about, research it. It's probably left best just the way you got it.
Yeah.
And you'll have more value that way.
Like, I'm not going to go and coat this. I'm not going to touch any of this mess, because you're not going to beat that bluing. And these are super rare. Whereas a Ruger...
Look at the bluing on that. I mean, dude, that's how they used to do it.
If you want a project gun like this, you can find an old imported Security 6 for $300.
And the finish on that was like brushed stainless. It was like an economy finish. Yeah,
they got some edges on them sometimes.
Yeah, the classic ones, not so much. And that'll take us to...
While you're talking factory, you might as well mention this model.
The Model 15-3, wearing the Smith & Wesson target grips that came with the gun when we got it, right?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah, and the finish is as we received it. We haven't done anything to it. Look at the bluing on the gun, just total perfection. I have reviewed the Model 19 and the Model 15. I think I put them in together. Favorite revolvers. I really can't say the Model 10's our favorite, because we're getting ready to throw some more on that rank right up there.
Yeah, you're about to see my
it's a top
all-time
5
favorite.
Yeah, it's a top 5 for sure.
Yeah.
And I remember the U.S. Air Force security police used to run around with this in their holsters when I was at Langley growing up. And that was the gun. Yeah. And in a recent review, like the P320 review, I talked about how for the longest time, revolvers got it done. And now when an auto comes out like the P250 with a revolver style trigger, everyone freaks out and goes, "You can't hit nothing with that." Really? They did it for decades, from World War II, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, all the way into the 90s. They hit. The only thing you can really say is limited rounds, harder to reload. But the triggers, let's pull this one. What do you think it pulls at? You don't have a snap cap in it though, do you? Hammer mounted firing pin, so I don't like firing it without a snap cap. Let's just say it pulls pretty awesome. Do you have a snap cap?
Yeah, here you go.
Oh, cool. So is that set up for this?
Should be. It's a K-frame.
Yeah, buddy. Oh, I love these HKSs. They're awesome. Single action, I'll tell you, is going to be eye-watering. And this is all factory, as far as I know. I mean, we got this gun used.
Yeah.
So did the guy do some work on it? I really doubt it, because a lot of these older Smith & Wessons just had really, really nice triggers. Look at that, 314 on the Model 15. Let's see what double pulls. See, we're talking about grips, but we gotta play with them too, dude.
Yeah.
I can't hold that cylinder since I gotta allow it to rotate. There you go. Pull right down here. 8.8.
That's not bad.
And that's the first pull. It might go lighter. Really an accurate, easy to shoot gun. I do like this barrel length. I kind of like the longer barrel length more.
Yeah,
the 4 versus the 6. I like the longer one.
And this is where we get on the soapbox and say, now's when you buy this stuff. Now is when you go through Gunbroker. You hunt down an old Model 10 with the fixed sights and the skinny barrel. Now is when you look for the old target grips. Get it now, because who knows, there's always some other panic buy. Values go up. They don't come down as quick.
Values are definitely going up on all the classic Smiths. I bought both of these for amazing prices. Super cheap. But you will see estate sales come up now that the older fellas are passing on.
Yeah.
And they get rid of these guns that they've had forever. So keep watching, like he's saying.
Yeah. It goes to family that doesn't... And I'm pretty sure that's where we got these from.
Probably an estate sale.
Because you bought them at the same time. They'd come in that morning, and the people didn't really have any research done. I was just, yeah, whatever, it's an old Model 10. That one is like almost
it was in a
100
gun
years
store.
old, and they didn't even care about it. So who knows? Keep hunting around because they are not making these like they used to. You know, the 686, great gun. There's something in these older ones that are made, you know, in the 50s, 60s, even 70s that just have a lot of soul to them. You still have beautiful bluing, and you get fantastic triggers like this one
Oh my gosh,
on the
they're
Model
so
19.
awesome. So awesome. I'm just going to repeat myself. This is our favorite gun.
It's amazing.
Well, I mean, if you look at when I did the cheese grater drill, I was going to say grill, this is the gun I took because I just know it hits so well.
Yeah.
So what do you love about this gun then?
The trigger for one is absolutely insane.
Snap caps in this one.
It has that fantastic Model 10 styling, but it fires 357. This is like the Bill Jordan one he designed. This particular one was made in 95.
313. Let's try it again. This single action only. 19. 4-ish. Man, this gun is also magical in its hitting capabilities. A longer sight radius, perfect, completely vertical front sight, adjustable in the back, and of course, painted. I always do that for contrast, and look at the bluing. Standard. Now, this is not a full lug, so this is a half lug.
Yep. We've
had no problems with it. I will say that we don't go out and shoot these all the time, though, because ammo is so freaking expensive.
Yeah.
Hey, but you're sponsored by TacticalAmmunition.com.
Yeah, we don't abuse it though.
We rarely get ammunition from them. It's we always feel stupid when we do, don't we?
So these, and I'm not too worried about it. Whenever you hear a Model 19, you'll hear some of the real old timers start to talk about how they'll blow up in your hands if you fire 357. I doubt you can afford to run that much 357 through them unless you have someone footing the bill. So just shoot it and enjoy it, or just collect it and love it,
or
and take
just
care
shoot
of
38
it.
special in it. Don't worry about it.
And that's what it was made for. It was meant to train with 38, carry 350.
Exactly. And if you need to shoot a lot of 357, how about you upgrade to a modern revolver, GP100 686?
Mm-hmm.
Just to name a couple, but those are our
great
favorites.
ones. I forgot to talk about grips on them. This is the pretty much standard Packmeyer. This is a pretty good one. With a rectangular frame, you're going to have it exposed in the back. I'm pretty sure they're Diamond Series, and the decelerator captures that a bit more and gives you a little bit of cushion.
I don't know if you caught that, but these are the Packmeyer decelerator grips. Link in the bottom.
I do. I love
this
the
adds height
checkering
here, though.
Yeah, it definitely does.
You haven't concealed carried this one.
No, I don't.
We don't want to put wear
finish.
on it.
Not that one.
We don't put wear on this. On these modern guns, go for it. But not the classics, dude.
Not the irreplaceable stuff.
Hopefully they're still legal and you hand them down to your children, which apparently as a grandfather, I'll never see.
Yeah, probably not.
At this rate.
No.
Yeah. No girlfriends or nothing yet.
Takes money out of my
No
revolver
lasting
fund.
girlfriends.
I will say the Model 10s you can get for a little bit cheaper than the 19s. People love the 357 stamping on the side. So anything that fires both calibers will usually be a little bit higher in price. I think people are catching on to the Model 10, so you're going to see prices rise more.
I think they already have risen.
Oh, yeah.
In the last 5 years, they've just been going up and up. The word's out. I mean, they're awesome. Classics. Now, Smith & Wesson, I don't know if they're still coming out with batches of classics. My overall take is they're not the same as the older 1960s, 50s era. They're still a great gun, but there's something that's kind of missing from them.
Well, they have
and they always sell out. They don't have a lot of them.
Hole in them. So they do that. They have the trigger lock in. It's
Trigger
never
lock
a
and all the
completely
hokey
faithful reproduction. We didn't mention the target grips on here. I absolutely hate them.
You did say that.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
As long as we said that, just to be sure I don't like them at all.
How about this one? You haven't mentioned this one.
Awesome little gun.
638 bodyguard, and we reviewed this. You and I reviewed this in 2009.
This was our first revolver.
It was.
Yeah, because for years it was, not enough utility.
We kind of got hooked on revolvers through TMP, didn't we?
That's the gun that did it right there.
Highlighted front sight. It's really a sweet gun. This has a Wolf spring kit in it, and it's also smithed. So I'll attempt to give you a pull here, see what it does, because I know I didn't have this high technology back in the day. Not super light, but you don't want it super light. 10-2 on the double action pull. But the thing I like about the 638 is you can fan it to single action, just like you can the latest LCRs. I know this pull's pretty sweet. Let me get it totally zeroed. Riveting YouTubeism. 213?
That's awesome.
What? Oh my gosh, that is light.
Dude.
Yoda, man, we might need to lighten that up a little bit. I will tell you this, though, being totally honest, as always, I never carry this concealed, like, ever.
Really?
It's 5 shots, dude.
Huh.
Why would I carry a 5-shot J-frame when I can, carry a Glock 43, XTS, PPS? I just never have. It is a little bit wider. It reloads slower. I can reload revolvers pretty fast. I just haven't. Have you?
All the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
You love it.
If you look at the frame, too, and you're hiding this, I usually do this one in ankle carry. These stick out less against your clothing. When you're looking at amorphous blob shapes, they happen to fit a little bit better with my amorphous blob body. So it doesn't look as, tenty and gun-like when you're carrying it around. And again, I'm not planning on really having to use it. So
these are the Crimson Trace grips on it, and I actually love them.
Love them.
Love them, love them, love them. Crimson Trace for this philosophy of use, excellent. And the material they use on them is perfect. It's like this stuff right here.
Yeah.
What are these called again? The hideouts?
Yeah, hideouts.
Is that the brand, though?
No, it's Precision Gun Industries.
Precision Gun Industries. Good, because I want to give them props for making a good product.
And they mostly do them for J and K frames, I think.
The Crimsons?
Yeah. No, the hideouts.
Oh, yeah.
So you won't be able to find these for everything else. Otherwise, you would probably see them on the rest of these.
Yeah, they're not the best looking grip. It's a utilitarian grip that works. This is a cool grip, though. Love it. I love this gun, though. Expert's gun, though. Don't kid yourself. They're hard to shoot accurately. True or false? Very true. And some people forget that. Then they go out and they can't hit nothing. They blame the gun. It's not the gun.
While you're talking about pocket pistols, you really can't forgo the LCR.
He has carried this gun so much.
So much.
I mean, it's one of your favorite carry pieces. And the wear and tear you see on it is from Doodle.
Yeah.
His wear and tear taking it to wherever he goes. Where do you go, by the way?
No, we're all over, man.
Clubs, motorcycle rallies, wakeboarding conferences. I love this gun.
Really awesome.
And, the exposed hammer version came out. They have a longer barrel version of the LCR. I was, just kind of contemplating, man, should I get that, I'm not motivated because this shoots so well.
Yeah.
All you got to do, just like the SIG P250, is stage that trigger, which I just didn't do there, but right about here, right there. Yeah. Boom. And it, you'll forget, and then you got to remember, every gun has a personality. You have to adapt to that personality.
We have a video out of me running the plate rack with this, and I think I was doing all right with it. So I think this one is slicked up a lot from the amount we've shot through it and snap caps and all that.
God, if I put inset footage in here, it's going to be a nightmare to edit this video.
It is going to be a nightmare.
That you're talking across like 7 hard drives. I have to go searching for that footage.
I'll probably put a link in or something.
I may not do that.
Yeah.
You love this gun, though.
Awesome.
Super lightweight, worth the money.
Totally.
Rattles a little bit. Who cares? Next up. Oh, this is cool. This has changed completely since Doodle modified it. Revolver porn continuing. Might look familiar. That's a Ruger SP101. Powerhouse. Take it away, Doodle.
Yeah. It's SP101. It's an awesome, stout little piece. 5 rounds, 357, 38 special. It's not the lightest. It's actually really heavy, especially compared to something like this. And with the new LCR that they have in 357, it's kind of hard bargain to say you really need an SP101, especially when it does the same thing. But as far as shooting goes, SP is a lot easier to do. It's got a great little trigger on it. You can go single action, and I just like it.
It's got a great little trigger because Yoda did this one too. But out of box, it's not that great. It's okay. You can shoot with it. And by the way, there's a couple marks here because I think, what did you drop the cylinder in the oven or something?
Yeah, I was
using... Was it this one or the GP?
It was the GP.
Okay. Still looks good, though. Look at that color, man.
Yeah, for home things, when I'm doing them in a wood shop with exposed insulation, could be better, could be worse.
Turned out fine. I like it. I love the looks of it. This is a gun that hits very accurately. Much easier to shoot than something lightweight like this. In other words, if I was going to take my wife out to go shoot plus P38 specials, I would much rather have her start off on this gun than this one. This is going to be extremely snappy. She won't like it. The SP101 she'll probably like and enjoy. However, it's a chunk to carry. And we were talking about the trigger. Let's see, what would you think it pulls? Double action. Yoda trigger job on the Ruger SP101.
I'm going to say like 11 to 12.
I'm going to say 9.5. Oh, Yoda strikes again.
Awesome.
8.2, dude. Well done. Wow. Single action, I'm going to guess, and we haven't tested this yet, 3.5. What do you say?
I was thinking the other one was 12, so
3.5.
yeah.
Oh, got really close.
That's really
I'm going to
close.
call that a spot on. 3 pounds 9 ounces on the single action on the SP101. What a great gun. It's kind of like what I was saying about the Model 60. These two guns kind of have the same philosophy of use. High use, compact, full power 357 Magnums. Is it a gun I want to carry all the time? No, never. Range gun, training, recreation, home defense even? Certainly. Certainly.
It's an awesome little thing. These are actually, and here's the kooky part, these are eBay grips that I got for $30 from Thailand.
Oh, check that out.
And I actually had to go through and Dremel these out to fit the Safariland speed loaders.
That's the one we're talking about.
Otherwise, they would be like this.
And you can see the exposed frame on the SP101.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
At least you can speed load it.
Had to get function out of it. And this is actually really cool. This wood took it really well.
It did.
I just
It
hit
looks
that
fine.
with linseed oil, and it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
And it's a personal build. I'm not selling this for like $4,000 on Gunbroker. I did this because I like it.
How about we sell that tomorrow?
Nah.
How about never?
Nah. I love it, man.
Okay. What grips are these off of? We're going to wrap it up right now.
Same guy, actually. $30. Getting them U.S. produced is usually about 5
So
times
is
that,
this
depending.
eBay?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
$30 from Thailand. And they don't have any traction on them. These are for
A lot of
round
the combat
frame.
grips don't.
Yeah.
They're hand filling, thumb, just maximum control, recoil absorption.
And this shows it's really kind of doable if you're handy with a Dremel and you have a block of wood that you want to do. You can template them out in the interior and then do a piece of cardboard and keep dremeling until it feels right. It's really not, rocket science. It's just tough to do well.
Yeah, that's a good looking grip.
It's pretty, yeah.
What wood is that?
I don't know.
I don't either. It looks good though, the finish on it. And that goes to which gun?
Any of the rounded K-frames, so it would actually
it's
fit on the
K-frame
TRR8
Smith.
686.
Ooh, that would look cool on there.
It was on there before.
Hey,
but
you're
we
not
needed
going to
something
freaking
to-
coat this
No.
one, are you?
No.
Don't coat that one. I
No.
like it like that. That was more polished stainless. I like
have
the looks
zero
of it.
problem doing Rugers because you can get them. This isn't like
Rugers are cheap.
In 20 years, I'm not going to go, oh, dude, I can't find a replacement GP100.
Yeah.
No.
You can go out and find security
Oh, yeah.
6s if you want on Gunbroker.
$350.
Yeah. Yeah.
Smoking.
Which gun are you going to carry next when you go out? Just concealed carry out of all this
morning,
stuff.
I took the SP101, actually.
You did?
Yeah. That was mine earlier today.
Was that when you went to your girlfriend that you don't have
Yep.
house?
She is doing fine.
And check this out. Oh, never mind. I'm not going to tell him.
What? Why?
About the girl I said you should call.
Ooh, let's tell them about this, because they'll get a kick out of it.
Oh, jeez. Okay, go. Go ahead.
Well, tell it from your point of view.
Okay, my point of view is my son. It's good to have a girlfriend, maybe, I don't know, a wife, and maybe we'll have little grandchildren who can inherit these things. I won't be here forever, neither will you. And yet, we got nothing going on over here. And so occasionally I'll see a girl and I'll ask Doodle, it was like, hey man, you ought to, contact this girl at this place, and he won't do it.
No, never. It's too weird. Having your dad find someone and go, hey man, I found this chick. There's something about it like, hey man, your father just selected your mate. You got to go talk. And they'll be like, hey, did you talk to her? Did you talk to her? She's really cool. She's super nice. It's
never
too
does.
weird for me.
Oh, come on.
Too weird.
Yeah, being alone in life is much cooler.
Yeah, because what you see here is the resources that would go towards a girlfriend.
What? But honestly, dude, all this, I mean, granted, this is TMP. So I'm a reviewer.
Yeah.
This is TMP. We wouldn't have any of this if it wasn't for TMP trying to give the subscribers a show and product advice. That's what we do. But the guns, I mean, if I didn't have children to hand them off to, why? For me, I'll take an AR-15, a single 9, 22, and a shotgun, and I'm good.
Well, it's like the
But
investment.
if I have children to hand them off to, then we're kind of morphing into a completely different topic.
You can just
you
cut
guys
this
can
out
quit
into
watching.
B-channel.
No way, dude. I'm totally leaving this.
So for this took a weekend to do these two guns. Is it better to have spent that weekend and have these awesome, or would it have been better to watch Napoleon Dynamite in some chick's basement, go to Red Lobster? I mean, it's a time and money thing, and as you can see,
I'm so
this is
glad you
pretty
said
sweet.
that. Here's why I'm glad you said that, is because material things are cool, but they don't count for crap in the big scheme of things. You know that. Come on.
Yeah, but the problem is finding the people that count more than the material things.
I'm going to leave that in. I'm not even editing that out.
Guys know by now. Every time we mention dating and any of the channel stuff, people go, man, it's really hard to find cool, normal people.
Well, I will give you this.
It's real hard.
True. You've said that finding a normal girl, but that's why as dad, if I see what I think and perceive to be a normal girl, I give him a heads up and he doesn't move on.
How many guys watching the channel, is the question, can think of someone that would be able to slot in to my life and existence?
That's a fair question.
We have a funky sense of humor.
Way off the wall.
We're very honest.
You don't even see all our sense of humor.
To the point where it's confrontational. And as you can see,
we're gun-toting
I may wake up
freaks.
that week. That week I was like, oh, I think that GP100 would look cool Cerakoted. So I start doing it. I don't react well when people are like, hey, I got this thing planned out this weekend. I'm on my own wavelength, and it's tough to find someone that's
learn to share your life too. There's give and takes in a relationship. In other words, you can't just say, hey, I'm going to be Durcoat my guns, blow off your wife, your girlfriend. You got to balance. You got to be a family guy.
Who on earth could I have learned that behavior from, though?
Dude, I strike a good balance in the family. You know I do.
What? It's insane, man. I think
Who's the one that's always saying, do you need me to be a dad to you tonight? And you always say,
everyone's going to say no.
No. Everybody says no in this family. I'm like, you guys always come top of the list before TMP.
Well, because we all do our own thing.
They're loving this.
A lot of times, our own things converge. Stuff like this happened kind of by accident. We were talking about revolvers this morning. Why not get it on camera?
No, I told you. I said, let's show these guys what you've been doing to the guns. They would dig it. Yeah. And so I said, pull them together. Let's just go film it in the missile silo. And here we are.
I'm open to somebody. It's not like I'm not looking.
I'm open to the ones I find you.
I'm looking damn hard, I'll tell you that. And it's hard to find someone that slots into it.
In a couple sentences, tell them the issues you're finding with the girls.
A lot of them either want to be my baby or they want to be my mother. And it really boils down to that. I picked up a girl last Friday, and I was driving my old car, and the first thing she said was, your car's really old, and it's a 92, and it's clean, and I take care of it. I would think that would reflect better instead of me having a new car that's going to get shit canned in 3 years when I wrap it around a telephone pole. On the other hand, you have these girls that are generally younger than me, and they expect me to tell them everything that they're going to do. They act really defenseless and ignorant.
But they're only 12.
I'm expecting more from a 6th grader. Okay.
They should have some life direction at that point. I mean, holy cow, they need to have it together at the school and stuff. Yeah. Any girl who jumps into a clean, awesome, older car and has issues with it is an automatic dumper with the space trash. Yeah. Off the freaking Slave One.
And I want someone that has interests and hobbies. There are a lot of girls now that they want to
their
watch
interest
Netflix,
is their cell phone.
And that's it. When Netflix. I say, what do you do outside your work? Oh, I just come home and they nap and they get on Netflix and Pinterest and that's it. And I don't want, and I'm not saying they need to have the same things. We need a mountain bike all the time. I don't care, do your own thing, but do something. Have some kind of passion in life.
True.
Don't just be like a top 40 Netflix skank that hangs out in pajama pants eating ramen every day.
There's that honesty we're talking about.
3 weeks ago, I was on a date with a girl and it was like 11 o'clock and she's in pajamas and starts cooking up ramen. Way too early in the relationship for pajama pants and midnight ramen runs. It just does, I don't know.
Yeah, about it. He's been raised with project parents. I'm super busy. We never just sit around. We're always trying to invest our time in something that counts. That's how Doodle and Suspect have been raised, and I guess you're kind of looking for that too, right?
Yeah, and they have to be nice to dogs.
His mom's that way too. Mrs. Nutnfancy is super busy all the time, and nice to animals. We're animal lovers. Have you dated some that aren't?
Yeah.
Ambivalent or outright hostility?
Whenever they're pushing Allie away, when she's not even bugging them, because Allie's really hands off. She doesn't bug you or sit there and sniff you. She'll kind of wander over and look at you for a bit and say, hey, are you friendly? And they'll push her away. Yeah, I don't like your dog so much. That's instant red flag. I don't know.
Should I unclip from the mothership and show them like your Slave One over there and stuff?
Oh, not yet. We got to save that for later.
Okay, maybe later. Later days.
Anyway, so that's wheel guns.
So that is about 1,000 comments right there.
Oh, yeah.
By that last part.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll fade out, and then this bonus piece, I'll just leave at the end if people want to watch it. They'll love it.
Yeah, this is what happens on my channel, though.
Apparently it's happening on this channel as well.
Huge old I'm infecting it. So yeah, awesome stuff.
Signing off, favorite revolvers in the Nutnfancy clan. I don't see any gun on that table we want to get rid of ever.
Buy an R8.
Out.
Don't buy a Model 19, I want one.